uh, with the students to ignite and promote entrepreneurship and bring them on turning their hands. Fortunately, not to blame anyone, but our education system is made us to stretch our hands open towards sky, asking for jobs. Unfortunately, if every hand stretches towards sky, there is none to give. So there is at least a need of few hands turning down to give, and that is where the entrepreneurs can do real difference to themselves and to the society at a larger context.
Very true, sir. So before going ahead with the session, I would like to give you a brief introduction about you to the students, sir, and I'll take 2 minutes of your time.
Sure, madam.
The students, we have here with us Professor Rajshekhar Mainampalli. He has been associated with NICMAR Hyderabad since 2013 and is currently working as an assistant professor. Last 8 years, he has been active member in American Society for Safety Professionals in promoting safety through teaching, training, and research. Professor Rajshekhar acquired his BE from Anna University, Chennai. Subsequently, after clearing the gate, he completed his MTech in structural engineering at Rourkela. Due to his interest in teaching and research, he worked as a faculty with various institutions of repute, including the University of Petroleum and Energy Studies. Presently, he is pursuing his PhD in construction management from KIIT Bhubaneswar. Professor Rajshekhar has also completed his MBA in Human Resource Management from Pondicherry University and a PG diploma in Aviation Law and Air Transport Management. Overall, 13 years of experience with association with more than 12 premium institutions across country with over 60 plus research articles in conferences and journals of national and international repute. Professor Rajshekhar Mainampalli has acquired expertise in areas of construction industry, green and lean construction, project management, alternate dispute resolution with various research papers in national and international conferences and publications. He's been associated with Namaste Kisan, Shadow Media Productions, and Dizati Consultancies. He is an advisor and investor in the above said organization. Professor Rajshekhar is an academician by profession and an entrepreneur by passion. So we are very fortunate to have such a learned person on today's session, sir. The session is yours, sir.
Thank you, madam. It's my privilege to have an opportunity like this to interact with young budding minds, because that's an opportunity for me to ignite their thought process. And good afternoon, everyone. I think good afternoon, guys.
Online students can reply, sir, but the students who are listening here, they cannot actually reply.
Okay, fine, fine. It would be better if there is an interactive session, but okay. Let me just give my thoughts from my side, and later, if time permits, we can have a Q&A or an interaction. So, guys, as I am an academician by profession and entrepreneur by passion, I teach at institute, National Institute of Construction Management and Research, which is based at Hyderabad, Shamirpet. In addition to that, that is the day job. So in addition to that, I run a few startups. I invest, and I keep working closely with the startup ecosystem as well. And I mean, the journey of entrepreneurship started long back in 2009 when I completed my education. So all these years, there is a question. I mean, that arises to each one of you, that when is the right time to start your own business? So any thoughts, guys online? When is the right time to start your business? Any anyone can respond? Okay, so generally the answer would be after getting a job, after settling, is the generic response that I get from many of the students. So because immediately after the education they want to get a job, and slowly after getting experience they want to start. Unfortunately, the experience that you guys will be getting is just an employee experience, not as an employer experience. So when to start is very important. And once if you are interested to be an entrepreneur, the next question is when, how, where, who, all these questions to be answered. So I appreciate all of the participants who are taking interest to be entrepreneurs. Of course, the data and statistics shows that the success rate of entrepreneurs or startups is very minuscule. Uh, Out of 60,000 registered startups in India, only 105 are unicorns. A unicorn is a term which is given to a startup, anything which is having a valuation of more than a billion USD. Billion USD is 8,000 crores valuation is what they call it as a unicorn. Out of 60,000, close to 60,000 startups are registered in India, and only 105 have achieved that stunt. Even though there are many successful startups, in general, we can say 3% is the success rate of startups. Okay, so who is the, I mean, when is the right time? As this is what comes to many young minds. They feel that right time is yet to come, but strongly let me tell you guys, the right time is now. It is now when you have to start uh, towards entrepreneurship, and there are many advantages of starting now rather than postponing or procrastinating or delaying with some reasons or any excuses. But the best time for you to start is just right now, because uh, fortunately or unfortunately, if you are delaying your idea of becoming an entrepreneur, the social conditions, the social stigma will force you to take up a job. So rather being a student, you are doing multitasking. One, you are, I mean, working on your idea to develop a plan to convert that idea and plan to an enterprise in along with your academics. So there is no pressure that you have really to feel, and there is no pain of failure. I mean, there is nothing much you have to lose. So once if you complete your education and then start your startup, then there is an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is that if you join some job, you may get some salary. So instead of getting salary, you're spending your time in addition to your investment. So better when to start is right now. If you start now, you can reduce your opportunity cost of building. And as being a student, there is many advantages that you can enjoy in building the teams or getting the mentorship or investment. So anything would be much easier being a student than that of alumni or I mean graduate. So there are few disadvantages as well that industry may not really consider students to be very serious until they exhibit some success or some credible output. But the real advantage of being an entrepreneur as a student is many compared to the disadvantages. So then let me tell you, the word entrepreneur, it looks to be very fancy and a difficult term to even spell it out. But the word has a inner meaning if you try to deeply dig down it. Uh, it is, from a Sanskrit word, antah prerana. So prerana is motivation, anta is internal. So antah prerana is what we can write in English as entrepreneur. Okay, so every entrepreneur need to have that self starting ability, that rather than kick starting. So this antah prerana is required, and there is no need of any external forces to give motivation to any of these entrepreneurs. And coming, to the story, as experienced uh, entrepreneur along with a job holder where I'm getting my salary, at the same time I'm paying some salaries. So the tough decision is to whether to start fully or whether to, keep working. So once you start working, then you would never have an opportunity to quit, which would be a tough decision. So 2009, I had completed my master's from NIT Rourkela. Then I thought of starting my own, and there started my journey or as an entrepreneur. But unfortunately, I have to take a job because we are not in revenue stage. So one of the startup that we started is Anana Fit. ANANAFIT. What we do with that is we make eco-friendly natural fiber textiles from banana fibers. We are based out of Chennai, and we are featured in news, and we were in Limca Book of Records. We were given Prerana Award and Indian Sustainability Award. Various awards are there, but as the revenues are not too huge to maintain the monthly bills, I joined a job as a faculty at one of the universities in Chennai, so that I can manage my finances. So slowly that has become a, uh, irreparable thought process to full time getting into that, because the attachment towards teaching, research, and academia has strongly built. In addition to that, we could grow to some extent with Anana Fit, and slowly as that is growing, the opportunities that we are getting in other sectors. So still we are doing good as a startup. We are having our own advantage. We are eco-friendly natural fiber textile company with innovation from extracting fiber from aloe vera, hemp, sisal. Various fibers is what we work with. So, and if I had worked for full time, then obviously it would be a full time activity. Rather, then I getting into job made me a dependent on my monthly salary, not uh, being independent without that. So slowly, as it has continued after the marriage, I have to take care of the family responsibilities. Of course, finances are not so strong. Me being from a, below middle class financial background and a rural background. So, out of social pressure, then for marriage, I was asked not to quit the job. because startups, entrepreneurship is not so glamorous, so fancy. Then so I have to continue with my regular job so that I can get a good match. So that is how it continued, even though we are successful with our startup. So post marriage, then there is a family pressure to continue and balance both. And then to expand the business, we got into film production. Shadow Media Productions is the film production that I founded, uh, co-founded with one more friend. We are into film production of feature films, working with fresh talents in micro budgets, and we produced couple of films. One in film festivals, and the other one is releasing shortly. It's in post production. I think Telugu audience may know the film. It's titled Calling Sahasra. Sudigali Sudhir is the lead hero, and it is in post production. And in couple of months, the film will be ready to release. So that is the startup that we started in 2017, and we are growing and making various films in other regional languages as well, including Assamese, Bengali, Odia. So we have a big plan to hit the media and entertainment space through Shadow Media Production. And the stunt continued, and later we got into uh, eco-friendly, real estate, agro real estate, with Namaste Kisan Farms, and we have our Namaste Kisan stores as well. Namaste Kisan stores is primarily uh, natural food product store where we make food products that are without any residues. Unfortunately, what we are eating today is completely poisonous residues, pesticides, fertilizers, all these are is what we are indirectly consuming. So to make to be healthy, what we need to do is eat healthy. And if we take food as medicine, then there is no need of medicine. But if not, we need to take medicine as food. That is what is happening. So when we try to find out a good food, there are few which claims to be in form of organic food which are residue free, but it is a bomb that it is not affordable. So to solve that problem, we are working with various farmers across different states uh, to identify farmers who are working on natural practices, natural agriculture, which is popularly called as zero budget natural farming, or Subhash Palekar method of farming. Of course, it is not new to India, but unfortunately, after post Green Revolution, farmers are completely being dependent on government to give urea, seeds, everything, but which made the scenario so pathetic that villages are depending on uh, towns for their agriculture, which is vice versa earlier. So now it has become completely industrial agriculture, not just rural agriculture. So to by understanding the disadvantage of what we are doing and the advantage of getting into natural farming, there are a few group of farmers who are practicing this and identifying them, ensuring that they are getting good sale on the yield that they get is what Namaste Kisan stores is doing, where we procure the material, process it, pack it, and sell through online and through stores is what we are doing. Of course, we do B2B. A large scale trading as well with the organic or natural food. Rather, we call them natural instead of organic, because the difference between organic and natural is uh, organic is what we use with organic chemicals and organic pesticides. Natural is we use only very natural, cow dung and cow based agriculture, or which is naturally available, is what we do in natural agriculture. So that is what we are doing. And in Namaste Kisan stores, and in Namaste Kisan farms, it is agro real estate. uh, every individual may have the wish and intention to have some agriculture land, and that is where we have this agro real estate, where individuals can own a small piece of land, and that would be managed by the company for 15 years to grow and have the share in the yield through sandalwood plantation. So and then we are evolving with technology as well, with other projects. So that is why with all these startups having some good success and still striving towards a growth story is what we are working on. And here you guys need to understand that it is a long race. Entrepreneurship is not a quick result that you can get a salary after 30 days. The return may be very, very tedious, time taking process. There are stories from the Indian context itself. Naukari.com might be aware of you from, when you look at Naukari.com, which is one of largest job portals, was built by Sanjeev Bikhchandani, who was a IIM Ahmedabad alumni. And it was not so easy for him to be successful, because it took a, a decade, 10 years for him to see success. So it is the consistency and persistence that you need to have in yourself, in your idea, in your team, to achieve success. There may be pivots, there may be change in the approach of how we are doing, but you should never stop doing. So generally, if you touch anyone and ask randomly, there would be ideas with almost everyone. Excuse me. Sorry. So there are ideas with everyone and anyone. What we require is not just idea; it requires a team, a plan. And once you have the clear plan with a team, then the execution may be possible. If I in some cases, when I asked students or startups to tell their idea, they are very much hesitant, saying that someone would copy their idea. And guys, I strongly say that uh, if you are trying to hide your idea before execution, then if it is so easily copyable, then once you start, bigger people will start in a bigger scale, that it would be suppressed to rock bottom. So ideas are everywhere. What we need is a great team to implement. Even a bad ideas implementing good with a great team can be much successful than a great idea with a poor team. So what is much important is execution. Let your idea be known to anyone. I think most of you Gen Z might be very much aware of Amazon, Flipkart, or Ola or Uber. Uh, I don't think that the business model is a secret. It is quite wide open, isn't it? Even Zomato or Swiggy most of the business models are very much wide open. What you need to have is the team to execute that. It is not only the ideas. Every Tom, Dick and Daddy will have an idea, but you need to have a plan with team who believes the idea would work. Okay, so that is much important, and that should happen initially within the closed network. If you can't convince your friend to join your team, then no one else may not uh, believe your idea that would really work out. So the team plays an important role, and the team should be within the closed circle rather than uh, from external agent. Sources. So it is so important that you have this idea and convert that ideas to plan. And let me tell, where does we get ideas from? Idea. We have most of the startups. Redbus is a great example, which is started by one of uh, the entrepreneurs from Nizambad, Mr. Fanendra Sama. Redbus. His Redbus is a idea that he got out of his own problem, that whenever he wants to travel from Bangalore, where he is working, to his hometown, Nizambad, there are buses, there are empty seats, but he could not find that. So he bought that onto a technology platform where the operators are being benefited, customers are being benefited by eliminating the middlemen. Earlier, the seats are used to be empty, the fare is to be high for customers, and both the sides people are struggling. So to make the problem solved, he came up with solution with technology, and that was sold to Goibibo at 750 crore rupees. A simple problem, but a technology is the solution that worked out to be successful. Of course, not so easy as we are discussing. There might be many iterations why the operator has to believe the technology guy when they started. They have their own difficulties in every journey. So uh, where do we get ideas? Ideas are from uh, the problems, the surroundings. So there, every business is a solution to particular problem. Okay, any business that you see is a solution to particular problem, and the size of your problem is the size of the business opportunity. If you are trying to just solve a problem to your college students, then the business opportunity is just that size. And when you try to multiply to all colleges, then the size is that big. So when you want to grow big, choose a bigger problem so that you can solve that bigger problem to have that real grand advantage of capturing that market with scale. And uh, it is not always that you need to run behind money with 5x or 10x. Always there is an opportunity for impact creation as well, in addition to value creation. The value creation is always counted in the return on investment, but there are organizations which are encouraging youth and startups towards this social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is what they measure is how many lives you could touch. It is not that how much money you could make, but what is the impact that is created out of your startup or out of your solution. So there are opportunities in the social sector as well, to solve the problems. Of course, as I was telling, every business is a solution to particular problem. And when you are trying to address a problem that can be having a potential to generate revenue, or else that can be even not having any revenue potential but can be having the impact. So there are great lessons that we need to learn from business models that evolved. One great example is Arvind Eye Care. Arvind Eye Care Madurai is a great business model where they treat a poor for very minimal pay or even free. The operation, the eye operation that they carry out is free for poor. At the same time, they charge from others who are not poor, where there is a cross subsidy. The business model has been built and they are successful and they are iconic in the area of eye operations in one, I mean, in that contemporary time. And now there are many eye hospitals that evolved and the government schemes, but the business model that they had bought is phenomenal, and that is where the innovation is coming up with. So now in this contemporary society, we find various issues, various problems, and every problem to an entrepreneur is a business opportunity. Every crisis is to be considered as an opportunity, and that is where you guys will have a big opportunity that can be taken up with every problem, and uh, that can be a possible solution to impact lives and to generate money and create value. So uh, I think I would stop here, endorsing that once again, the right time to start is now. And I would encourage for some questions if you guys have uh, to have interaction, so that accordingly I can advise. And at the last, I will make the announcement. Madam, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The session was really very fruitful, and there were many examples which actually I also did not knew so many times. So I've also learned very good examples there. And as you said, sir, really that every business is a solution to a problem. It is rightly said, sir. Every problem is actually a business opportunity as well. And as you mentioned about Entrepreneur, sir, actually we organize a business plan competition every year, the ED cell of the college. Entrepreneur, that is also the name of our prestigious event,
Okay,
wherein it is a national level business plan competition. And this time we are organized fourth edition, sir.
very good, madam.
Right. So thank you so much, sir. So I will open the session for any questions. Students, if you have any questions, you can come and ask.
Guys online,
Online students can ask the question. And offline students, if you have any questions, you can please let me know. I'll ask the question. Or I'll give you the mic, you can ask the question. You can ask.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
yeah, good afternoon. Please tell me, ma'am.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah,
How did you get the idea of making out fibers out of the coconut, the coconut
uh,
fibers? Yeah.
banana fiber, it is banana,
Yes, sir.
olivera, sisal, hemp, all these are different fibers. See, one of my co-founder who is a handloom weaver once read an article from Ramayana saying that Hanumanji presented a banana fiber saree to Sita Devi. So that striked my friend that how can we, I mean, how can then sarees be made of banana? So banana fiber. So we, I mean, explored, extracted, whether it is from fruit or whether it is from the stem. So later, it took 6 years for us to explore and come to a product. Of course, that is when the idea ignited, but it didn't turn to be a product instantly. It took too much of time and effort to I understand. Then fiber is extracted from fiber. There is a process to yarn it. What we have cotton, and from cotton we have thread, continuous thread. What we have is only a piece of fiber which is of 1 meter. So then that is to be knotted to, and it is to be treated. Treatment is required so that it is not so fragile that it is breaking simply. So we innovated a treatment mechanism for these fibers to achieve the strength. Then the colors. The colors are completely made up of natural vegetables. I mean, natural dyes is what we use for coloring. So that is where over the process, over the time, the process got evolved, and the initial thought has come from Ramayana.
It's on. You can talk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Sir, I'm Bhargavi speaking online. So I've
Yeah,
actually used your product, sir, the banana fiber sari. I've also gifted it to my aunt. It is an amazing product and a very unique product, sir.
thank you very much. So I mean, mostly we export to international customers, and the feedback is always amazing. I mean, there is no complaint till date that we received.
Sir, actually, we got a warranty on that for around 10 years.
Okay, yeah. So
The product
uh,
is very fine, sir, like a cotton cloth it is.
yeah, it is cotton and banana mixed together. Complete banana is not possible. So it percentages 20%, 30%. Now we achieve 50%.
That's great, sir.
Thank you, Bhargavi. Thanks for very much.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. This is Vijay
Yeah,
Kumar.
yeah, Vijay Kumar, please tell.
Sir, I just want to start up a construction company.
Okay.
So, as you know, there is a huge competition in this.
See, I am a professor at this Construction Management Institute, which is pioneer training construction managers to serve construction industry across country, and we have companies coming to recruit in the industry who of the construction industry. So the opportunity for entrepreneurs in construction industry is $1 trillion in next 10 years. $1 trillion is to be invested in construction for, I mean, next 5 to 10 years. But unfortunately, there are no professionals coming forward to take up this opportunity because there are challenges. One major challenge is capital intensive. Construction industry is a capital intensive business. You need to have the initial capital either for real estate or for infrastructure. Until you are a services company, I mean, just like PMC or quality or safety or I mean, some services company which is having a limited potential. Of course, that is not too limited. Uh, CBRE, JLL, Knight Frank, all these are PMC companies. What they do is only service. They don't have any capital investment. But when you look at L&T, HCC, Afghans, Gammon, or Aparna, My Home, or Rajapushpa, all these guys need to have capital. So that is why there is a challenge for entrepreneurs to get into this space. And when you want to start your construction business, obviously the challenge would be with capital. If you could overcome that capital, then the industry is really having the advantage if properly managed. Let me tell you some figures. Out of 840 companies which are in contracting, only 2% companies are in profit. Only 2%. And the average profit of the construction companies is just 3%. Out of 840 companies, when we took the total profit of all 840 companies and check, the average profit is only 3%, which is very, very minuscule. So there is a huge capital requirement, and at the same time, by end of the year, when we look at the accounts, the profit is very less. So that is where now innovation is coming up to overcome all these problems. And there are few tech companies. I mean, the construction is evolving through technology. There are few startups in construction sector itself, like Modulus Housing. Modulus Housing is creating modular structures. I mean, which is during COVID they had done great business, and they are there is Zetwork. Zetwork is a unicorn. I told that unicorn is any company valued at $1 billion. So Zetwork, which is into construction, which is a startup. So innovative businesses would have great potential. If you're trying to get with conventional stuff, then these challenges, these are a couple of challenges, and there are many more challenges. So you need to look for innovation in this sector where there is high potential, because technology is just in the initial phase. So I would suggest you, construction is a great business opportunity. It is everlasting, but the business model need to be properly designed and developed. Okay, and we have a few entrepreneurs who are already in the space of construction doing really great, and would obviously ready to help you out to take it further on your thought and the idea that you want to take work on.
Sir,
Vijay.
actually, I just want to take up a turnkey project.
Okay,
It's like turnkey projects.
turnkey
So
projects.
here-
That's what capital is one issue, and management, because not just with capital, we need human capital as well to make our idea work as on the field, because uncertainty is huge in construction industry, and there is no guarantee that we could complete within time. So to overcome all this, along with currency capital, we need to have extensive human capital to do this. I think we can meet up and discuss to take it further effectively.
Definitely, sir, definitely. But here, what exactly my doubt is, a client is there, and I'm from the construction company, and I'm going to him and giving my quotations. I'm doing my best to take up the project. Here, the customer should give me some part of advance, at least 10% of the total amount.
Yeah, yeah,
So here, he should believe me to give this project
yeah.
and that advance amount. How should he believe me to give the 10% of advance amount? And other thing, he say that you just deposit some material here so that we'll be having a belief or trust towards you. Then we can give you the amount. Here, without
See,
giving the money, I can't deposit the materials there, the amount.
yes. See, either you need to have trust with the customer, or customer need to have trust with you. It is chicken and egg problem. And in general construction practices, what happens is agreements, contract agreements. In the contract agreement, generally there will be mobilization advance. To mobilize all the men, material, machinery on site, there will be a mobilization advance given by the client in general projects. So these agreements, contract agreements, will help the client to have that confidence. You can get into the agreement to convince him saying that whatever the amount you're going to pay is to mobilize the stuff onto the site is what you need to convince with documentation.
Yeah, that's really
Okay.
nice, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Good
please tell me.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, I'm Ritu Parna, and
Yeah.
my question to you is that as an entrepreneur, how do you see work from home? Is it advantageous or disadvantageous?
See, it's all about attitude. See, I take every crisis as an opportunity. Okay, so it is the way that we look at. If you look every opportunity as a challenge, it is. If you look every challenge and opportunity, it is. So work from home obviously will reduce the travel time, the ready time and all this, and gives more time for sitting on focusedly onto the work is what I feel rather than otherwise. I mean, people complain that work from home is making them to work a longer hours. So that is a employee mindset. But as an entrepreneur, I feel that it is giving an opportunity to spend extra hours without wasting any of the time is what I have enjoyed building ideas, working on business plans is what I could effectively utilize the time that I got spending with family, valuable time with family at the same time building the business, working towards the growth of the company. All that is what worked out at a single place.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Students, anyone else who would like to ask the questions? Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for patiently answering the questions of the students. And I would like to go ahead and ask you that if any of our students want to get in touch with you in person, can I go ahead and share your contact number with him? Like just now, one of the
Yeah,
students
yeah.
has asked.
Please share my mobile number so that they can ping me on WhatsApp, and I'm ready to take anyone interested just to explore the path of entrepreneurship as interns, or else I am ready to mentor if someone has ideas. So mentoring is not just only to just build the idea. If required, if that requires any initial capital, I am ready to invest as well. So any ideas, anything is there, I'm ready to support at any level. If not having an idea but trying to explore, I can take them as interns in any of these projects that we are working on, and just give an experience of how the startup works on.
That's great, sir. That's great. So I will be in touch with you for that particular activity, sir, especially internship for our students. So we are looking for internships on startups as well. So I will be in touch with you, sir, with regards to that.
Sure, madam.
And thank you so much, sir, for such an enlightening session. And it was really very interesting and also very informative as well. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Purposely, I had not included any slides because that becomes very academic. So I just gone for extempore sharing my thoughts.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I will have this association in the future as well, sir, with our college.
Sure, madam. Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, and can reach out to me any point of time on WhatsApp so that we can take the discussion offline.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, madam.
Sir, I think Shivaji sir is also there in the meeting. I think he just logged in.
Yeah, yeah. I saw him.
So he again logged off. Yeah, he's there. He's there in the meeting. He's there in the meeting. Shivaji sir, welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hi, Rajshekhar, how are you?
Fine, fine. How are you?
Fine, brother. It's been almost roughly 11 to 12 years that we met, right? It's if I'm not
Absolutely.
wrong, it's in 2009 Tata Jagrati Yatra that we met.
Yes, yes,
But it's
yes.
been a wonderful journey, Rajshekhar. So, it's wonderful. And
Thank
you
you.
have given wonderful inputs to the students also. So when Madam asked me about some sort of resource person who can actually help them, who can give them initial inputs. So I just thought of you only, you and Mr. Sanjay. Sanjay is also there. I think last week yeah, he met you also, Sanjay.
Yeah, yeah,
Sanjay
yeah.
from Event 19.
Jay
Event
Romala,
19,
yeah,
yeah.
he's
Yes. So I thought of having your session initially because that would be really helpful for the students of Bhavan's College because I'm an alumnus of that particular college, Rashekar sir. Yeah.
okay, okay. Good. I mean, I thank you very much for the opportunity because always uh, sharing and speaking to young brains will give much more energy and hope to take, I mean, much challenges in a simple way.
Yes, brother. One more thing, Rashekar sir, and why don't you just give them an input on Jagrati Yatra that is being registrations are being done right now. So I think it would be really helpful for the budding entrepreneurs as such. If you can
Yes,
give them a
yes.
brief, for at least another 2 to 5 minutes, that would be really helpful for them.
Yeah, thanks for that thought, guys. I mean, uh, I was telling you about 2009 after completion of my education. See, Jagriti Yatra is a life-changing yatra that happened to me in my life. So, post academics, after this yatra, the complete thought process has changed, and I became very strong and independent with a strength of 400 people who were in the train. So Jagriti Yatra happened in 1997 by 200 youth to understand what is the change that happened in this country for 50 years after independence. So that was being a phenomenal then 1997. 2008, the same youth from IIT Kharagpur have started this Jagriti Yatra, and from 2008 every year they are selecting 400 youth across India and few from abroad to transform the thought process and convert them towards entrepreneurship. So just giving great examples of successful enterprises both in social and business. And I was telling you about Arvind Eye Care is through Jagriti Yatra I came to know about this, and there are many more stories that we come to know, which enlightens us, opens our ideas and thought process regarding the businesses, business models, and we have an opportunity to interact with 400 people and a great grand alumni for last 10 years plus that they have built. So guys, I would really encourage each of you to just have a look at this Jagriti Yatra and uh, take the opportunity to be part of it, which will enrich your learning experience and change the thought process that you have towards entrepreneurship, or not just entrepreneurship, even for the life. The life lessons that you learn from that journey is phenomenal. It is an 18-day journey then. Now I think it's a 15-day journey that you will be moving across country in a special train, interacting with like-minded people on the train, where you sleep, eat, drink, discuss everything on train, meeting great role models in different parts of the country. So have a look at this Jagriti Yatra website so that you can get more information. And I strongly encourage that if you are really serious to achieve anything, then this is a place that you have to be part of. Okay, guys, please have a look at this website of Jagriti Yatra. Uh, you can get more details, and in that regard, if you have any doubts, you can just bring either of us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Okay,
you so
madam.
much,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very
And
much.
thanks Shivaji sir for actually introducing Sir Professor Rajsekhar sir for taking this session. Thank you so much for this.
My pleasure, madam. My pleasure. And with your permission, I would sign off if it is okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Shivaji and Ashwini, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay.
Shivaji sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Shall
So
we start it, or will you give
yes,
another
sir.
5 minutes of
If you are ready, we can go ahead and start, or we can take another 5 minutes to start.
No, it's up to the students because they need to understand. Yes, it's been a continuous roughly one.
Right, sir. We will start in 5 minutes, sir.
Yeah, that's better. And that 4 to 5 minutes we can
Thank
start.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Shivaji sir.
Yes, I'm available.
Yeah, can we start the session?
Yes.
Sir, actually, we have few students online who have logged in and few are directly listening to your sessions. We are projecting your session as well. So
Okay,
any
sure.
doubts are there, they will be directly asking from my end.
Okay, sure.
Right.
No issue.
So
There are
Shivaji
any
sir,
issues.
thank you so much for actually accepting our request and taking the session for today. I know you have a very busy schedule today, and in that busy schedule as well, you have accepted to take it. I'm really thankful for you, sir, for the same.
No,
Thank you
it's
so
okay.
much for that. So I would like to just briefly introduce you, sir, to our students. Shivaji Ganesh Babali is a SEBI registered research analyst and as well as an entrepreneur. He's the founder of Mithai Club as well as Native Mithai, which later got merged with Araku Coffee. He's a vivid traveler and learner and is an ex-yatri of famous Jagriti Yatra, which was being supported by Tata's, Microsoft, Google, Coca-Cola, to name a few. He's presently working on a project relating to shelf space management with regards to packaging industry. And he's also been associated with various startup groups in Delhi as well as in Hyderabad, and as an independent consultant to startups which are under various stages of development. His core interest lies in strategy, financial, and operations management. Coming to his academics, he has done his graduation from Nizam College, MBA from Bhavans Vivekananda College, and he is a research analyst certification from NIMS Mumbai, which relates to security market certification in food packaging from IIT Hyderabad. We are very fortunate to have you, Shivaji sir, and this session is yours.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Good afternoon, guys. I think you had really wonderful session with Professor Rajshekar for the last 1 hour. He's a wonderful resource person as such, and you can contact him at any point of time as rightly said by him. So he's a wonderful resource person. You can use him as you progress. See, as Mr. Rajshekar has rightly pointed out, there are different stages of entrepreneurship and different things that you need to keep in mind to be an entrepreneur, and the right time and the ideation stages and everything that he has rightly pointed out, and what not to be done and what need to be done. Everything is rightly been pointed out by Professor Rajshekar. So let me carry on, uh, continue with what from where Mr. Rajshekar has. See, as soon as you have this idea and you come up with the idea and you keep on developing the idea and you start to build up in a startup and you come to a stage wherein which you need to have funds so that the startup can be grown to the next level. So what actually investors look for in a startup? Let me briefly tell you what investors basically look in the startup ideas that you approach. See, strong. The first thing is the idea that you have, whether the idea is really executable or not, and the sustainability as well. See, basically, what investors look is it's not that whatever they invest, they need to get it initially within 1 or 2 years. It's not that. It's the sort of concept on which the investors will invest. Basic uh, time frame that they have is minimum of 20 years. That is the time frame that they will think whether the idea is going to sustain for that long time. Based on that, they will invest. Basically, at what level? The venture capitalist level people, they will look for at least minimum of 20 years. Based on that only, they will invest. And whether the idea is being uh, executed by a strong and reliable team. See, it's not that you have a very good idea. The other part is, as Mr. Rajshekar has rightly pointed out, whether the idea is executable and it has a really good team to execute it. So execution part comes, and that execution happens only when you have the right team, the CEO, I mean the COOs and CEOs, CFOs, and everyone. So idea is one thing, and the execution part is the other thing. and having good team is the other thing. Okay, and the business should be prepared. Business should be prepared. I mean to say, see, need to be presented well before the investors. It's not that you have an idea and you simply go on before an investor and just plainly say that I have this idea and you need to invest. It doesn't work in that way. See, what all you need to have is, first of all, you need to have a proper plan and you need to present it in a proper way, giving them the actual and factual facts. It's not that you shouldn't exaggerate each and everything. Exaggeration will always lead to failure. So, and you need to be very careful. And the other things which I need to mention is the product or service that you're choosing for this startup idea need to be entirely different. May not be entirely different. It should be different enough so that it should actually attract the investors' minds so that they can actually invest in your idea. And projections of the business idea. I mean to say, see, suppose that you are working on a product or you're working on a service. The projections, I mean to say the business projections or the sales projections or let it be any service projections that you have in your mind that need to be, I mean to say, in a realistic manner, it shouldn't be too much exaggerated. And the other most important thing is the idea is whether the idea is really different. See, let me just give you an example. Having an idea is one thing, and the idea is really going to work out in the present situation is the other thing. See, if you could remember, before these cell phones have come into the market, the mobile revolution has come into the market and everything. During 2003, 4, 5, or 6, roughly during that period of time, we have these coin boxes. Majority of you have not known about all these things, but we have these coin boxes. And if you could actually visit this industrial area of Kushaigoda and some areas of Cherlapalli industrial area, majority of the establishments that were there during 2000, 2005, which used to make all these coin boxes, I mean to say fabricated metallic boxes that were used for coin boxes, majority of the industries were closed down. So the problem is, the idea may be sustainable today, but the thing is that the idea need to be sustainable in the coming years, maybe in the coming 10 years or coming 10, 20 years. So that is the kind of things that the investors will see in your idea. Okay. And what sort of investment opportunities, what sort of investors that we have in the markets today. So let me go on with, see, anyway, you may be knowing all the seed capital, angel investors, what we call venture capitalists, and the crowdfunding. And I mean to say, revenue-based funding is also there. That is what is happening right now. Revenue-based funding is also happening right now in the startup ecosystem. So the thing is that what you need to keep in mind is, see, before going to any investor, just have your product ready and do a test marketing. I mean to say, what we call, simply saying, just test your product or services in a closed group, let it be in a community area, or let it be in some sort of area in which you can test and get the results out of it. Maybe either it's a positive one or negative one, and you can take up what we call their suggestions, what we call their complaints, or their inputs also. And based on that, you can develop a prototype, and then with that prototype, just go and meet these angel investors. Okay, angel investors are angel investors are two types roughly. See, there can be individual angel investor or a network of angel investors. I mean to say, combination of two to four or n number of investors forming a group, and they are called as angel investors network. So if your idea is good enough, you can present to them, and if there are enough people and if there are like-minded person who can actually invest in your idea, you can go there to this angel investor. And then comes what we call, there are other sort of investors called venture capitalists. See, angel investors are secondary one. I mean, the first one would be like anyway seed capital that you will have initially, wherein which you start up with that basic principal amount that you have to put it in your ideas. that can be borrowed from your friends or your peers or your family members or anyone. That is one thing. After seed capital, there comes a stage wherein which the once the prototype is over, then you look for investment because you need to scale up on a larger way. See, this prototype would work on a very small community-wise level. But if you want to go on a bigger level, you need to have an investor wherein which this angel investor will work. Angel investors are a little bit, I mean to say, they will invest a little bit of lesser amount when compared to venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are a bigger picture in which after, stage of development, this venture capitalists will come into the picture. So angel investors, anyways, if your idea is really good, even an individual investor, just like see, Mr. Rajshekar is also an angel investor, and myself, I can also invest. So the thing is that if you have a very good idea and if you can come up with a very good prototype of ideas, if you after the incubation process, then these angel investors will invest and they will guide you. They will act as mentors to you. Basically, they will act as mentors to you, and they will show you the path wherein which the product or the services will go on a larger way. Then comes this venture capitalist situation, where if your idea is big enough and it's doing really good in a particular geography, let it be, suppose that your product and service is serving in the area of what we call in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana or parts of Karnataka also. So if you want to scale up that business model into even a bigger one, then you need the help of venture capitalists. These venture capitalists are the ones where it's an institution. Basically, venture capitalists are institutionalized bodies. I mean to say they're corporate bodies or institutionalized bodies wherein which they will invest in huge numbers. I mean to say huge amount would be invested for a stake of your company. Let it be for an option. I mean to say 20% stake or let it be 30% stake or something else. Whereas in the angel investor stage, you need not divest much of your equity. But at the time of venture capitalist stage, you need to divest much of your what we call equity, so that majority of the investments will come to your company. Okay, and the thing is that the venture capitalist will come into the picture wherein which where the startups need to grow on a next level. I mean to say, see, as I said, it's geographical demarcations would be there for a little bit of your business or your services initially. And if you want to scale it up, then the picture of venture capitalists will automatically enter. And normally, almost all the venture capitalists will exit once the company goes for what we call this IPO. I mean, you may know that IPO, initial public offering, which that is like getting listed in the stock markets. So as soon as the company gets this startup of yours gets listed in I mean to say in stock market, security markets, let it be. So then they would exit just before this IPO because they will cash out their money for the stake that they have invested, and they will exit. They will exit and they will never come into the picture. After that, after coming into the picture, then it would be like follow-on IPO. All these things will come into the picture. After that, there's no question of this venture capitalists coming into the picture again. And coming to the government-related schemes that are actually there in India right now. See, we have this concept called Startup India. Roughly, it got started in roughly 2016 or 17. So it's doing really wonderful things for the startup ecosystem to develop in India. See, and roughly see, I've just briefly explained what this Startup India actually does to the startups in India. See, roughly 80% of 80% rebate that you can get on patents that you want to invest. See, for the patent that you want to get on a product or a service that you are intended to put it in the market, and for that cost incurred on the patent and everything, 80% of the rebate that you'll get back to you. And IT exemptions like initial 3 years, anyways, that would be there. And the funds are divested through SIDBI. See, Startup India funds are divested not directly to your accounts, but they are given through SIDBI, okay, as funds. So, and there is other program which is being supported by Government of India, which is being launched very recently. That is Startup India Seed Fund. Okay, this particular program, that is Startup India Seed Fund, this particular program, that can be really helpful for you people right now. See, those who are in the colleges, those who have really very good ideas in their minds, and those who want to explore the opportunity that they have at their disposal, they have their, see, you, the best thing is you have time at your disposal, you have faculty who can guide you, and you have different resource persons that are coming to you at different points of time, and you can take the help of all these three resources, and you can approach this Startup India Seed Fund, wherein which you get the initial capital as well. See, what happens is normally in the college age, we may have very good ideas which can be really scalable in the near future and really workable ideas also. But the problem arises when you don't have enough money with you. See, even getting seed capital for some people also is very much difficult. Seed capital that can range from roughly 1 lakh to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. It all depends on your idea. If it is a product related thing, you need a little bit of bigger seed capital. If it is services related thing, it can be very much less when compared to product related startup and everything. See, at this point of time in your colleges, if you have your ideas, just try to get the guidance of from the faculty, or let it be from the resource persons from the IIC, and just try to approach this Startup India Seed Fund. You can apply for this Startup India Seed Fund directly from your account. Through colleges also you can get through, from yourself also as an individual also. You can apply for this Startup India Seed Fund, wherein which you get the initial investment that can be executed, that can be used for the execution of your idea. Initially, I mean to say initially. Then once this startup reaches certain level, then you can go for this angel investors thing. And if it reaches certain boundaries, then you can go for this venture capitalist areas. And even if you don't have that much idea how to approach this Startup India Seed Fund, there are other concepts called, what we call, as I said, that is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding, there are certain platforms like GoFundMe. There's a platform called GoFundMe. Here, what happens is there are n number of retail investors who got registered on this GoFundMe website, and if you can present your idea over there on that website, these retail investors, they will invest. You may not know those investors, but what they will do is they will invest certain amount of money in each of the startups that are being listed on that particular platform. Not only GoFundMe, there are a number of platforms that are actually doing this crowdfunding sort of seed funding initially. So you can go there also, and you can present your ideas. You can briefly explain your ideas, and the investors who are registered over there, basically all the retail investors. See, anyone can get registered as a retail investor on certain websites, wherein which you have the opportunities to invest certain amount of your capital into different, platforms. I mean to say, these startup ideas, and you can go with this. And there is another concept called revenue-based funding, which is evolving right now, and it can be discussed. This involves a lot of introspection right now, because this revenue-based funding and everything, it's being very much closely monitored by almost all the financial, institutions like ED and everything. So this revenue-based funding is little bit, it's not that much popular in India, but whereas this revenue-based funding is very much popular in Western countries. But as said, basic things, let me point out few points in which you need to keep your mind very much up straight. The first impression that you create in the minds of the investors is very much important. You'll never have a second chance to, to make the first impression. Hope you understand. You'll never have a second chance to make the first impression. So it's always better to present your idea in a very much meticulous way. Being good is not enough. Being good is not enough before the investors. It's like, see, you need to be in a very much bargaining way. I mean to say, see, what investors try to get from what we call the startup companies is they always try to have more say in the startup. I mean to say, they look for more of dilution. I mean to say, suppose that I need to invest in one of the startup. What I normally say is, I will ask for roughly more of equity for putting up less amount. So you need to be very much careful in diluting your equity initially, because in the later stages, if your startup is growing up in a really big way, you may reach a stage wherein which you may not have enough equity with you, wherein you can dilute and you get much of amount. So you need to be very much careful whom you are taking on board. You need to be very much careful how much percentage of equity that you're diluting in order to get very much good amount of investments into your company. And the one more thing which you need to keep in mind is while approaching investors is it's not that easy to get an investor. First, you try to understand this basic fact. It's not that easy to get an investor. It looks very easy saying that, say, I have a very good idea, so I can get any number of investors. It's not that easy. There are n number of legal procedures involved. There are n number of agreements related issues that involve. So it's not that easy. So you need to be very much careful in whom you're accessing as well. See, I'll just give you some idea in which you'll get this angel investors, basically. You can find out. Let me say that your place, anyways, you are placed in Hyderabad. Let me say, if you're looking for initial funding, you can go and see anywhere in co-working spaces, just like 91 Springboards, any other co-working areas wherein which you will have different mindset peoples and different people who are ready to invest on a promising idea. So it's always better that you work in a co-working space so that your ideas can be nurtured and it can be developed. At the same time, if the investments are required, there would be some sort of people in the co-working spaces in which they would invest in your ideas. If your idea is really promising and really scalable. See, only thing, first and foremost thing, what investors look is whether your idea is scalable and sustainable. Scalable is one thing and sustainability is another thing. Scalability happens very much quick. If your idea is really good, the scalability will happen very quick. But the thing is that it need to get sustained in a long run so that the investors' money which is being put into your idea, they will reap the benefits out of your startup in the long run. That's what they look into. It's not that your idea is really good, they would invest. No, that will never happen. If you have that misconception, just come out of it. Idea is not only thing. The other thing is sustainability and technology. The other thing, and the third thing is connectivity with the masses. Let it be, see, suppose that you're introducing a product, or let it be you're introducing a service, and what you need to have is connect with your customer base and that's what we call retainability. Yes, customer retaining capacity is also much more important in attracting what we call investors. So all these things keeping in mind, you need to devise a plan. First thing is, what is the idea that you have? And after, as soon as you have the seed capital, just go on with the ideation phase and brainstorming. And if you need any sort of what we call brainstorming sort of thing, you can approach incubation centers which are being set up in various places. Just like T-Hub also is a very good incubation center. But majority of the T-Hub activities rests on IT related services, IT and ITES. But it's not about product related, any other, but very much less. Roughly 90% of funding and what we call venture capitalists that are present in what we call in T-Hub, that is in Hyderabad, is majorly focused on IT related and ITES related projects, and roughly very less percentage of amount is being divested to other sectors as well. And second, most important thing is, as soon as your incubation is done, then the real problem arises. That is the testing phase. That as soon as you go on with the testing, you may come across different sort of practical problems that actually arise. See, during ideation stage and during brainstorming, you'll have solution for each and every problem. But once you come on to ground, you will face the exact problem wherein which couldn't even expect also during brainstorming session. You wouldn't even expect it also. Then comes the inputs that you get it, that you take it from various people, from maybe from the expertise, from maybe from the individual, I mean to say, independent consultants that we have in the markets. You can get the ideas, what we call consultations from them, or even from the faculty members who are really, I mean to say, who are experts in that field. So that way, as soon as the incubation process and the testing part is being done, then you need to, if your idea is working out, then you need to scale it up. If you need to scale it up, then the picture of angel investor comes. Only after test marketing, only after your prototype is done, then only approach angel investors. Till then, don't approach angel investors. Just try to balance your amount that you have, and if you can borrow from your friends or your parents or maybe your peers or someone else, just try to get it till the prototype is done and the product or service is being tested. Then only approach angel investor. And while approaching angel investors, also try not to divest much of your equity for the amount which look bigger for you. See, suppose that I being a student, let me give a small example. Suppose that you're a student and you have a very good idea, and the prototype product and all, let it be the service, is really working good in the market. Then you'll approach an angel investor, and if the angel investor sees that your product is really going to work out in the market, what he'll show you is he'll try to throw you bigger amount. I mean, see, on a larger scale, that is not a big amount, but for you, it's a very big amount. They will try to throw on very big amount for the almost roughly 30 to 40% of your equity, for the dilution of 30 to 40% of dilution. During angel investor sort of thing, maximum that you can divest is 15 to 20%, not more than 15 to 20% need to be divested. So after angel investors is on board, majority of the angel investors are entrepreneurs who are already investors in various startups, who actually have various experiences, I mean working experiences with startups or very big companies. So they will act as what we call mentors to you. So they will guide your startup to grow in a proper way, in a proper way. So with the guidance of angel investors, not majority of them are what we call mentors, but right now, I mean to say, this ecosystem has completely dynamic. It's completely dynamic now. The majority of the angel investors are entrepreneurs, and what we call, they are already I mean to say, who have very good experience on board. So they will guide you, and once the startup is to the next level, then anyways, as I said, then you can approach venture capitalists. Then venture capitalists, they will demand even much bigger, I mean to say, equity share for giving you good money. There comes the problem for you. See, if you have divested much of your equity during angel investor stage, so you wouldn't be left with enough equity with you so that you can get more amount, and your what we call financial, what we call companies, I mean to say, projection, company's projection is not that much. So you need to be very careful in diluting your equity. During venture capitalist stage, these angel investors will assist you in devising a plan so that you may not divest much of your equity, but getting good amount of money in return. So keeping all this in mind, so you need to be very careful in devising each and every plan. Okay. And coming to, as I said, it's government-related funding is already available in the markets. So be careful in taking up almost all the available fundings that are available in the market. I mean to say, government-related funds which may come for free, which may come for on subsidy based. Roughly, see for this, if you can get up Startup India seed fund, you need not pay anything. So this sort of funds are also available. And see if you can look for Wadhwani Foundation. There's a Wadhwani Foundation which is being operated from Karnataka. So they're actually providing all this what we call seed funding. Also, seed funding capital is also being funded by Wadhwani Foundation if your idea is really good. And they will have these application stages and everything in which you go on with the selection procedure. If your startup idea gets selected with them, they will fund you. They will fund you, but you need not divest any of your equity. So there are a number of organizations wherein which you can get the investments as well. So hopefully you got the basic idea wherein which you need to divest at what percentage of amount that you need to. I mean, what percent of equity that you need to divest for amount of your money that need to be poured into your companies and everything. So hopefully, I think we can stop over here. We basically, if time permits, some other class we can actually discuss in detail the different types of what we call this investment opportunities that are available in Hyderabad itself. In Hyderabad itself, wherein which you can personally present them your ideas and get the investments. For that, I can be helpful. Thank you. That's it. If you have any questions, you can just ask me.
Thank you, Shivaji Garu. I will open the forum for any session students. If you all have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. Online students as well, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. And offline, anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'll give you the mic.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi, sir. This is Vijay.
Yes.
Sir, what I believe is in India, there is a lot of money. People invest in land, people invest in gold, but it doesn't, it contributes to the Indian GDP, but not to the up to mark. So if this money is invested in the startup ideas, then India will definitely be a developed country. But many startup ideas are also getting rejected by the venture capitalists, angel investors, crowdfunding. So what I feel is, there is some content in the rejected startup ideas also. So this idea might be interested by the other investors also, who has invested their money in land and gold. But here, what I feel is there is no correct platform where the startup investors and the startup companies can meet.
See, here comes this crowdfunding concept. See, as I said, there is a website called GoFundMe. See, you have, suppose that you have a very good idea. Need not do anything. Just go and register your idea in that GoFundMe, and you'll have enough audience over there. As you said, see, there's no certain proper platform wherein which the investors as well as the startup enthusiasts will meet. But this GoFundMe like websites wherein which this acts as a platform wherein which you can present your idea over there, and almost roughly there are n number of retail investors over there. If they are really interested in your idea, they will fund it directly without knowing you. Okay, just go on, check GoFundMe.com. GoFundMe, just check it out. You'll have enough inputs for it.
Sir, this might be a funny thing, but this is just my idea. Why there is no
Yes.
insurance to the startup companies or startup investors?
See,
Because
see,
there must be some guarantee to my funds, right?
the thing is that what you need to keep in mind is, if you don't have belief in your idea, you shouldn't ask for insurance. You should have enough belief in your idea. There's no question of insurance over here. Only thing is, what happens is, just invest in your ideas. See, it's not always about money. It's not always about money. It's about enthusiasm. It's about what we call your passion to excel in certain ideas. See, initial seed capital may be very less. That's the reason why the government has what we call come up with the idea called Startup India Seed Fund, wherein which you will not take even a single rupee from your pocket. Just present your ideas to just register the idea in Go Startup Fund, Seed Fund. And if your idea is really good, that idea will be evaluated by expert committees. And if your idea is good, the money flows automatically to you. And you can, with the help of that, there are a number of incubation centers that are being supported by Government of India at various colleges. There are roughly a number of incubation centers even in Hyderabad also. So from there, you will get the help of expertise, and then you can grow. Here, you need not invest even a single rupee from your pocket. Hopefully, you got it.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes.
Excuse me. Sir, if I have posted my idea in the platform, there are the
Yes.
chances of copying the idea, right?
No. See. The basic misconception that is happening in Indian mindset, especially in student community. Let me be very clear. Let me be very much particular. The basic misconception that is happening is, if you share your ideas, if you present your ideas before a larger audience, that idea gets copied. No, that will never happen. What we call this execution part, when it comes to execution part, you will have the exact knowledge at what stages that you need to go on with the idea generation, what we call idea picking it up, and what we call scaling it up. It's not that easy for anyone to copy it. It's not that easy. So don't worry about copying of your idea. It will never happen. Don't worry. Maybe see, there may be what we call cloning sort of system may happen. See, as you said, there may be some sort of cloning sort of things may happen, but your idea and your execution mind will never be matched with anyone, because it's your brainchild. So don't worry about it. You can share your idea. You can
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
only after that you'll get the inputs.
Thank you, Shivaji. Sir, anyone else has any question, you can go ahead and ask.
Madam, one more thing I just want to say, as Mr. Rajshekhar has rightly pointed out, there's a program called JagritiYatra.com. Just go and visit JagritiYatra.com, where you can Jagriti Yatra, JAGRITI, Jagriti Yatra, because Mr. Rajshekhar, myself, and some other who are basically entrepreneurs right now today, we got what we call the encouragement, or let it be this sort of motivation, sort of networking, which is very much important to be successful. Networking is very much important for any business ecosystem to flourish and to expand. So your network need to be very much developed. So this Jagriti Yatra will be really helpful for each and every student. If you can register, there are registrations are going on right now. So you just register jagritiyatra.com, just go and register. And if you get selected, you'll have wonderful opportunity to interact with like-minded people from different parts of the country.
Sure, sir. I will go ahead and forward this information to the students, and whoever are interested, I'll go ahead and make sure that they are joining in. And if they have any
Yes.
doubts, I'll ask them to contact you in person as well.
Yes, I can be helpful. That's okay.
Right. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Shivaji sir, for such a enlightening session, wherein you have focused on what is a venture capitalist, who are angel investors, and how do we get up a Startup India seed fund as well. And the best thing which I have seen here in the sense, not only idea is important, but its sustainability along with technology and retainability of that particular idea is also very important to attract the investors. So today's generation should not only think about actually having an idea, but also focusing on how to make it sustainable is also very important, sir. So thank you
Yes.
so much, Shivaji sir, for taking this session in such a busy schedule. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So I request all the students to please fill in the feedback form of today's session. Please fill in the feedback link, which is posted in the chat window. So I'll request all the offline students to log in online and fill in the feedback link. I'm reposting it again. Shivaji sir, are you there? To all the students, please don't forget to fill in the feedback link. I request all the students to please fill in the feedback link so that you can get your certificates. Everyone give your correct email ID so that you can get the certificate correctly. Your email ID should be correct. Then only you will get the correct certificates. Students have filled the feedback form. Thank you so much for attending this session. You will receive your certificate shortly to your email ID. Thank you for attending the session. You may leave the session.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please do fill in the feedback form, students. All the students, it is once again a reminder, please log into this feedback form, fill in the feedback form for the certificates. I'm closing this session in another 2 minutes, so please fill in the feedback form fast.